Today we're going to make these fun sparkly mittens. I'm Rose and welcome to my channel. To make the mittens, you will need 2 skeins of the Big Twist Winter, and I'm using it in the color Holiday Confetti Multi. You also need a crochet hook. I'm using 7 millimeters, a pair of scissors, a needle, and a place marker. To start the mittens, you're going to leave a little bit of a longer tail, and you're going to make a slip knot, and we are going to chain 10. Then you're going to follow your chain back, and you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 2, you're going to chain 1, and we're going to make a single crochet into the first 2 stitches. And we're just going to go into the back loops only. And then into the 3rd stitch, you're going to place 2 single crochets. And in the 4th and the 5th, you're going to do 1 single crochet into each stitch and 2 single crochet into the 6th stitch. And 2, or 1 into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 into this stitch, and then 1 into the last stitch. And you should end with a total of 13 stitches. And into the last stitch, you're just going to make a single crochet. Round 3, going to single crochet into the first 4. I'm going to use this first stitch as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 into the 5th stitch. And then 1 into the next 4. And then 2 into the next stitch. One into the next 4. And if you would like to place a stitch marker into this stitch so that you know that this is the end, you're going to do 2 single crochets into this last stitch. For rounds 4 through 12, you're going to place a single crochet into each stitch all the way around until you get to the end of round 12. come to the end of round 12, we're going to fold it so that the stitch marker is on the side of your work. For rounds 4 through 12, you're going to, when you get to round 13, this is where we're going to leave this space for our thumb. And if you're making it for the left hand, then we want the stitch marker to be on the left, and then you're going to have your thumb on the right side so we can leave the space, because we're going to work around, and vice versa. If you're going to make it for the right hand, you want the stitch marker on the right side, and then your thumb is going to be on the left. So I am making this for my right hand. So I have about 17 stitches all the way around, and so that I'm going to come, I left off right at the stitch marker, so I'm going to come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at the sixth stitch from your stitch marker, I'm going to place another stitch marker to leave the space for our thumb, and we're going to go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to single crochet for round 13 for the first 6 stitches. And then when you get to the 6th one, we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just see where my thumb comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go back into this 5th one. So I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go into the 5th one with a single crochet. And then I'm just going to place my thumb back through just to make sure that it's enough space. And then we'll just continue around until the end of round 13 with single crochets. And for round 14, we're just going to continue around into each stitch with slip stitches, with single crochets. And then when you get to where your thumb space is, we're just going to go into the back. Well, we're going to flip this over, but we're going to go into these back loops only. And you want to have this front loop. We're going to go into the front loops and on the other side. And then I'll just continue right back with the single crochets all the way to the end of round 14, and then we are going to go all the way to round 16 with single crochets. So I will meet you at the end of round 16. And when you get to the end of round 16, we're just going to slip stitch into the last stitch. And this is what your mitten's going to look like so far. And now we are going to work the band. To start the band, we're going to chain 1. And we are going to half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. And when I get to the end, I'm just going to half double crochet into that last stitch. And then for where the chain 1 is, I'm just going to make a slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 1. For round 18, we're going to go through this slip stitch and the front post. And we're going to make them one. We're going to put them together. I usually leave a seam, but I'm going to try it without a seam. So we're going to make a front post around both that slip stitch that we did and the front post and the first post. And then it's going to be kind of extra large, but it will be okay. And then we're going to do a back post, half double crochet, and then a front post, half double crochet, and the next stitch is going to be a back post, half double crochet, and that's how we're going to finish round 18, going from front to back posts. And this is going to tighten the band. And because we lost a stitch, it should be a little tighter around your wrist. So I'll meet you at the end of round 18. And when you come to the end, this one should be a back post, half double crochet. And we are not going to make a slip stitch. We're just going to go right back into that first one again, and we're going to make a front post, half double crochet, yarn over, and then right back. And then this is round 19 into a back post and then the front post. And then we are going to do that all the way to round 20. So I will see you at the end of round 20, and we will end with a slip stitch. And when you come to the end of round 20, I'm just going to make a front post slip stitch. And you may want to mark it. I don't know. I had a hard time figuring it out. You think because it was extra big you would know, but I had a hard time figuring out which one it was, but it actually blends right in and will be okay. And then this is what the glove is going, or the mitten is going to look like after you finished round 20. Now I'm just going to cut my yarn and tie off And then we're going to come to the top of the mitten, and with the tail, I'm just going to slip stitch the top, or single crochet if you want. I think I'm just going to slip stitch it. I don't know how much I have. So if you didn't leave a lot of yarn, you could slip stitch it or single crochet. And you're just going to go through both the front and the back, and then slip stitch, and that is the top of our mitten. And now it's closed, and I'm going to take out my stitch markers. Alright, after we stitched the top, I'm going to flip it before I tuck my ends so that I can see what the mitten looks like. And then here is your mitten without the thumb yet. And then we are going to now add our thumb. So it should fit kind of snugly on your wrist, since we took out one of the stitches down here, the seam, and see, you can't even tell. To start the thumb, you want to make sure that the thumb place is on the right side. So I would, you don't want it to be like on the back, because when your thumb goes in, you want it to go right in like this. So I would move your thumb so that the space is right on the right side, not on both sides. And then for the thumb, we're going to be working right to left, so that it matches with the V-stitch single crochets instead of on the flip side. You don't want it to look like the other stitch. So we are going to bring our yarn through and make a slip knot. We are going to be working into these top stitches along all the way around, and we're going to be decreasing, because otherwise our thumb is going to be really big. There's probably about 10 to 12 stitches around here, and we don't want a huge thumb. So in the first stitch, we're going to single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together. So we're going to place our hook into the second stitch, pull up a loop, and then through the third and pull up a loop, and then bring it through all 3 loops. And then in the fourth stitch, we're going to single crochet, and then we're going to make a decrease into the next 2 stitches, two together, and then in the next stitch, single crochet. So every other one will be 2 together, so that the thumb gets a little smaller and we don't have a huge thumb in the end. 2 together, 1, and then 2 together, and then you should be back, and this is where we started, and we're going to skip this stitch, and then we're just going to go right into the top of the first stitch that we made other than the knot, and we're going to do a single crochet. Now we're going to work our thumb in the rounds for six rounds. So and just go around. I'm sorry if that was a little complicated, but otherwise the thumb space is so big and the glove looks a little strange when it has a huge thumb, so I just wanted to make it a little smaller. And then I will meet you at the end of round 6. And here we are at the end of round 6, and then you will just make a slip stitch, and then before you tie off, I would place the mitten on and make sure it covers your thumb and then we are going to tie the top of this, but that is what your mitten is going to look like. And then leave a little tail and cut, and then just get your needle, and we're just going to go through all the stitches and tie it together. And then I just bring it through and then pull it and then just knot it at the top. And then you just tuck your ends, and then your mitten is all finished. And this is what it's going to look like. They turn out so cute, and I love all the sparkles. I already made my other mitten. So here are the pair together. They turned out so cute, so warm, and I just love how they turn out for Christmas, for the whole season. They're bright, they're sparkly, they're so much fun. So I hope you enjoyed making this mitten with me today, and I hope you make a pair for yourself. And until next time, eat, sleep right, and crochet. Thank you so much for watching.